Have you ever wondered why love, the one thing you genuinely want, sometimes feels like the scariest thing in the world? Why a closeness makes your chest tighten? Why affection feels overwhelming? Why someone caring about you triggers anxiety? Or why the safer a relationship becomes, the more your body pulls away? If that's happening inside you, I want you to hear this clearly. There is nothing wrong with you. You are not broken. Your nervous system just learned that closeness can be dangerous. Hi, I'm Janine Naus, your grief and trauma relief specialist, and today we're going to talk about one of the most misunderstood experiences trauma survivors face: the fear of being close, even when you deeply want connection. Because for many of us, love didn't feel safe. Affection wasn't consistent. Trust was shattered. Or the people who were supposed to care for us were also the ones who hurt us, misunderstood us, or dismissed our needs. So your body learned that closeness equals vulnerability, and vulnerability equals danger. Your mind may say, I want someone to see me. I want someone to love me. But your body says, keep your distance. It's safer. And that tug of war, that internal conflict between wanting connection and fearing it, can feel confusing, painful, and exhausting. Before we go deeper, I want to ask you something gently, not to answer out loud, just internally. Does closeness ever make you want to pull back, shut down, or disappear? If the answer is yes, you're not alone. And that reaction doesn't mean you don't want love. It means your nervous system is still protecting you. So, in today's healing step session, we're going to explore why love can feel dangerous to a body that has survived trauma, and how you can begin feeling safe with closeness again, one small step at a time. So take one more grounding breath with me. Let's begin. I'd like you to go ahead and breathe in and then breathe out slowly. And when you lived through trauma, whether it was emotional, abandonment, unpredictable caregiving, hurtful relationships, betrayal, or chronic invalidation, your nervous system learns a very specific lesson. Closeness is risky. Closeness is unpredictable. Closeness can hurt me. And our bodies are wired for connection, but they are also wired for survival. And survival always wins. So if your early experiences taught you that the people who were supposed to love you were inconsistent or emotionally unavailable or controlling or even unsafe, your nervous system began to associate closeness with danger, not consciously, but biologically, automatically, instinctively. So here's what actually happens inside you. One, your mind still wants love, but your body remembers pain. And you can desire connection with all your heart and still feel scared the moment someone moves toward you emotionally. This disconnect isn't confusion, it's a trauma response. Then two, your nervous system activates protect mode. When someone gets close, and for trauma survivors, closeness can trigger tightness in the chest, anxiety, shutting down, pulling away, suddenly feeling irritated or overwhelmed, losing interest without even knowing why, the urge to isolate or retreat. This isn't avoidance. It's actually your body saying, last time I opened up, I got hurt, not again. And the third one is love equals a vulnerability. And vulnerability once meant danger. Being seen, being known, being cared for requires openness. But if openness was associated with rejection, punishment, criticism, or emotional neglect, your nervous system learned a powerful rule. Don't let anyone in too close. So even when you meet a safe, loving person, your survival system doesn't register their safety. It remembers your past danger. And that's why closeness can feel so scary, even if you're craving connection. Now, I'd love for you to check in with yourself for a moment. When someone tries to get close to you emotionally or relationally, what happens in your body first? Do you tense up? Do you retreat? Do you go numb? Do you suddenly feel unsure or overwhelmed? Now you can go ahead and jot in the comments, tense, retreat, numb, unsure, or overwhelmed. Just noticing this without judging it is the beginning of healing. Next, I want to share a moment from my own life when I realized I wasn't pulling away from people because I didn't care. I was pulling away because my nervous system didn't know closeness could be safe. I want to share a moment from my own life, a moment when I realized that the fear of closeness had nothing to do with who the other person was, and everything to do with what my nervous system had lived through. There was a time when someone in my life began showing me genuine care, not the inconsistent, unpredictable care I was used to, but real, steady, safe presence. And instead of feeling comforted, my body went into panic. My chest tightened. I felt myself emotionally stepping back. I suddenly wanted distance, space, anything but closeness. And I remember thinking, what is wrong with me? Why am I afraid of someone being kind? But here's what I eventually realized, and maybe this will resonate with you too. I wasn't afraid of them. I wasn't afraid of what closeness had meant before. Closeness had once meant obligation, being silenced, walking on eggshells, losing myself, emotional abandonment, or being punished for having needs at all. So the moment someone offered love, my nervous system braced for impact, as if kindness was the opening act to another collapse. There was nothing wrong with me, and there's nothing wrong with you either. Your body is responding based on what it survived, not based on what's happening now. If you ever pulled away from someone who was actually safe or felt overwhelmed when someone cared about you, I want you to know that response makes perfect sense through the lens of trauma. Now, I want to go a little deeper into why this happens by exploring the three most common trauma survival patterns that block closeness, even in loving, healthy relationships. Ready for teaching point? When closeness feels uncomfortable or overwhelming, it's usually because of one or a combination of three trauma survival patterns. And these patterns aren't personality flaws. They're protective strategies your body developed to keep you safe. So let me walk you through them gently. One, hyper-independence. I don't need anyone. If relying on others meant disappointment, rejection, or punishment, your body learns to rely only on itself. Hyper-independence feels like doing everything alone, struggling to ask for help, shutting down when someone offers support, feeling trapped or obligated when someone gets close. Now, this isn't stubbornness. It's actually a reflex born from self-protection. Your nervous system whispers, if I don't need anyone, no one can hurt me. Now, the second one is emotional numbing. I can't feel this. For some survivors, closeness doesn't trigger fear, it triggers emotional shutdown. Numbing shows up as going blank during connection, zoning out, feeling nothing when someone shows love, being physically present but emotionally distant, staying surface level to avoid vulnerability. Now, this happens because your body once had to disconnect from your emotions to survive what was happening. So now, when someone tries to connect deeply, your system hits the off switch to protect you. And then the third one is invisible armor. I'm here, but I'm not open. This is one of the most common patterns. Armor looks like being friendly, but guarded, sharing facts, but not feelings, avoiding being truly seen, appearing confident while hiding emotional needs, being afraid people will get too close. Now, this armor kept you safe when emotional exposure meant danger, but now it can keep love at arm's length. None of these patterns mean you're incapable of love or connection. They just simply mean you survived. Your nervous system adapted brilliantly to protect you, and these patterns make sense until they don't anymore. So I'd like to take a moment to check in. Which one of these patterns feels most familiar? Hyper independence, numbness, or invisible armor? And just noticing it with compassion is the beginning of loosening its grip. Now that we've named the patterns, I want to guide you through a gentle exercise, something I call the safe distance practice. And it's meant to help your body experience closeness without overwhelm. This is a gentle way to help your body experience closeness without that overwhelm, because healing isn't about forcing yourself into vulnerability. It's about creating safety 1 inch at a time. So here's how it works. In step 1, think of someone who feels mostly safe, not perfect, not deeply intimate, just mostly safe. And this could be a friend, a mentor, a relative, a therapist, someone from your past, anyone whose presence feels steady rather than threatening. If no one comes to mind, that's okay. You can imagine a caring figure instead, a safe person, a safe presence. Just bring that person in mind. Next, in step 2, I'd like for you to notice your internal distance. Without judging it, notice how close or far you feel from them emotionally. Are they right next to you, an arm's length away, across the room, on the other side of a wall? Whatever your body shows you is perfect. Your nervous system is telling the truth. Then the third step, step 3, is to move them 1 inch closer in your mind. Not a foot, not a mile, just 1 inch. And then pause and notice what your body does. Do you tighten? Do you pull back? Do you feel neutral? Do you go numb? Do you relax a little? There is no right or wrong here. You are just simply observing your natural survival responses. And in the final step, step 4, if it feels safe enough, take 1 more inch. Only if and only when your body says yes. And if your body says not yet, that's still healing. The goal is not closeness. The goal is honoring your boundaries and teaching your nervous system that it has a voice and it gets to choose the pace. This practice helps your system slowly learn that closeness doesn't have to be all or nothing. It doesn't have to be wide open or shut down. You can build safety little by little at a pace your body can actually tolerate. And healing becomes possible when your nervous system finally feels like, I get to choose how close someone is to me. Now let's deepen this even more with a journaling prompt, something to help you understand your body's story around closeness on a deeper level. Now I want to give you a journaling prompt here. So, this is one that can help you gently understand your relationship with closeness without judgment, without pressure, and without forcing anything that feels too big. Now, this question helps you identify not just what happens, but when it happens and what your body is trying to protect you from. So here's your prompt, and you can write it down if you can. When does closeness begin to feel uncomfortable for me? And what sensations show up in my body? So let me repeat that. When does closeness begin to feel uncomfortable for me? And what sensations show up in my body? Now, this prompt helps you notice your early warning signals, the subtle signs your nervous system sends before you shut down, pull back, get quiet, or disconnect. Maybe it's tightness in your stomach, a shift in your breathing, a sudden urge to change the subject, or a feeling of wanting to withdraw. These sensations aren't wrong. They're not failures. They're whispers from the parts of you that once you had to protect you, that they were once here to protect you. And then when you begin to notice them without running from them, without judging them, you start teaching your nervous system that closeness can be felt and tolerated and eventually trusted. And if this prompt brought something up for you, if you're recognizing patterns you've never put words to, you're not alone. And we're going to talk about your next step together in just a moment. So if today's session touched something tender inside you, if you notice patterns you've never named before, or if you're beginning to understand why closeness feels so confusing, I want you to know you don't have to make sense of this alone. What you're experiencing isn't a flaw. It is an emotional immaturity. It isn't fear of commitment. It's a trauma pattern. And trauma patterns dissolve with safe support, not self-blame. And that's exactly why I offer something called the Healing Clarity Session. Now, it's a free, private 30-minute conversation where we explore your specific survival patterns around compassion and care. And in our time together, we'll move through 3 gentle steps. Now, in step 1, we're going to we'll identify where closeness feels unsafe for you, emotionally, physically, or relationally. And maybe it's when someone compliments you. Maybe it's when someone checks in. Maybe it's when someone wants to know you more deeply. Whatever it shows up, we start there. Then in step 2, we'll uncover. Then we'll uncover what your nervous system is still protecting you from. Is it rejection, losing yourself, disappointment, being misunderstood, or the fear of becoming vulnerable with the wrong person again? Understanding this one piece can shift everything. And in step 3, we'll discover. And last, we'll discover that one gentle, doable next step that supports your body in feeling safer with connection. One step that meets you exactly where you are. No pressure, no pushing, no expectation to open up before you're ready. This call isn't a sales pitch. It's a safe conversation, a space to breathe, a moment to let your nervous system be held instead of judged. And if you've been longing for connection, but your body keeps pulling away, this might be the gentle yes you've been waiting for. And you can schedule your free session using the link below. Healing doesn't happen through force, it happens through safety, pacing, and choice. And this call is designed to honor all 3. And when you're ready, click the link, reserve your spot, and let's take your next healing step together. So as we close today, I want to leave you with something that I hope settles gently inside you. You are not hard to love. Your nervous system just learned how to protect you. The pulling away, the shutdown, the numbing, the armor, those weren't choices. They were survival instincts. And they helped you survive relationships that once felt unsafe or unpredictable. But now you're here. You're learning, you're growing, you're noticing patterns you were never taught to see before. And that means something important. Your healing has already begun. So if today's session resonated with you, I'd love to stay connected with you on YouTube or, the Bridge to Healing community, where, I have the healing step sessions available, gently guiding you back to yourself, one breath at a time. So make sure to subscribe to my YouTube channel at Janine Naus so you never miss a new session. And if this topic really spoke to your heart, the next video I want you to watch is why your body feels unsafe even after the abuse has ended. If you've ever wondered why calm or closeness still feels threatening, that video will bring so much clarity and relief. So you can watch it here down below. Just click the link on your screen. And as you go into the rest of your day, I'd like for you to remember this. Your fear of closeness isn't a flaw, it's a message, a story your body is still carrying. And you have the power and the support to rewrite that story with gentleness and care. I'll see you in the next video. Take good care of your heart today. Thank you. Bye-bye.